Hello students, today I have come up with the next part of P block elements. Today I'll start with halogens. First I'll start with the electronic configuration of the halogens. So the elements of this group, that is group 17, are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine. What is the electronic configuration? I will write the electronic configuration with respect to the previous noble gas. For fluorine it is helium 2s2 2p5. For chlorine it is neon 3s2 3p5. For bromine it is argon 3d10 4s2 4p5. For iodine it is krypton 4d10 5s2 5p5. For astatine it is xenon 4f14 5p10 6s2 6p5. So remember, the outer electronic configuration or the valence shell configuration for the halogen group is ns2 np5, where n is the number of shells. Okay. Now I'll come to the trends in the physical properties. Among the physical properties, first is atomic radii. Remember one thing, that halogens have a smaller atomic radii than the group 16 elements, corresponding group 16 elements of that period. Okay. And another thing is that as we move down the group, the atomic radii of halogens increases. Now why it increases? Because as we move down, addition of successive new shells. Okay? And for the halogens, the nuclear charge is very high. That is why the halogens are smaller than the group 16, corresponding group 16 elements. Since for the halogens the nuclear charge is higher than that of the corresponding group 16 elements. So the halogens have a lesser atomic radii than the corresponding elements of group 16. And as we move down the group, the addition of new shells occur. That's why as we move down the group, the atomic radii of the halogens increases. Okay. The next one, gain enthalpy. I have written this in the short form. Okay. What happens for the halogens is electron gain enthalpy is high. Why? Because the halogens have one valence electron. So it can easily add another electron to show a stable electronic configuration, or to attain stability. Halogens will easily take up or attract or add one electron to their outermost shell. So the value of electron gain enthalpy is high. As we move down the group, the electron gain enthalpy value decreases. Now why as we move down the group the electron gain enthalpy value decreases? Because as we move down the group, normally the size of the atoms increase. Atomic size increases, or you can say atomic radii increases. Because of the increase in the atomic radii, the taking up of electrons become a bit difficult. So as we move down the group, the electron enthalpy value decreases. But there is an exception. What exception is there? The exception here is chlorine. The electron gain enthalpy value of chlorine is greater than that of fluorine. But along for the trend, that is the trend which I have told you just now, as we move down the group, the electron gain enthalpy value should decrease. Chlorine is after fluorine in the group. So how is it possible that chlorine has a greater electron gain enthalpy value than fluorine? There is a reason to it. See, fluorine do not have a vacant orbital, or in fluorine there are 2s and 2p orbitals, whereas in chlorine there are 3s 3p orbitals, which and the fluorine has only 2 shells and chlorine has 3 shells, and there are 3s 3p orbitals whose size is larger than that of 2s and 2p. For fluorine, if an electron is added, then due to the small size there will be inter-electronic repulsion. So addition of an electron will be a bit difficult in case of fluorine. But in case of chlorine, where the size of the shell is larger and there is a lot of space to accommodate an electron, there will be less inter-electronic repulsion, or you can say electron-electron repulsion. It will be less in case of chlorine. Also, another important point, chlorine has energetically accessible vacant d orbital. Energetically accessible vacant d orbital is present in case of chlorine. So accommodation of an electron is not at all a problem in case of chlorine. So the value of electron gain enthalpy is greater for chlorine than fluorine. This exception is important. Okay? The next point is melting point and boiling point. This is easy. Weak van der Waals force exists. Weak van der Waals force exists between the atoms. As we move down the group, the van der Waals force increases. So fluorine and chlorine, which are at the beginning of the group, are gases. Because in fluorine and chlorine the van der Waals force is less among the atoms. So the atoms are a bit, that is, you can say the atomic spaces is bigger, or you can say the space between the two atoms is more in case of chlorine and fluorine because of the less van der Waals force. So fluorine and chlorine are gases. But as we move down to bromine, the van der Waals force increases as we move down the group. So it increases and it will keep the atoms closer. So bromine is a liquid. And in case of iodine, the van der Waals force is strong. So the atoms are much closer to each other. As a result, iodine is a solid. Next 2 points are most important. One is color. Here are many points which are important. The first point is all halogens are colored. All halogens are colored. Fluorine, pale yellow. Chlorine, greenish yellow. Bromine, reddish brown. And iodine, violet. Why all the halogens are colored? Because the halogens absorb visible radiations. That is, the halogens absorb light present in the visible region of electromagnetic spectrum. As soon as they absorb light in the visible region, they will also transmit the light which is in the visible region of electromagnetic spectrum. As a result, they are colored. Now, why they are differently colored? That is, why fluorine is pale yellow, why iodine is violet? This is another question. So let's come to that. They are differently colored because, keep in mind one thing, that when they are absorbing light radiations in visible region, the valence electrons get excited to the higher energy levels. For example, this is the fluorine atom. As soon as it absorbs the radiation, the light radiations in the visible region, one electron will get excited to a higher energy level. And the excitation energy to the higher energy level is important here. How is it important? That this excitation energy depends on atomic radii. And remember another thing, that is, if an element is absorbing a color, it will not transmit the same color. It will transmit its complementary color. And transmit means that is the color of that element itself. For example, for fluorine, the atomic radii is less. So, excitation energy is high. Fluorine atomic radii is less, so excitation energy is high. So, fluorine will absorb high energy violet light. Fluorine's radius is less, so its excitation energy is high. So, fluorine will absorb high energy violet light. And as it absorbs the high energy violet light, it will transmit its complementary color. The complementary color of violet is yellow. And see, since it has transmitted the yellow color, so the color of fluorine is yellow. This is just the opposite case for iodine. For iodine, the atomic radii is more. So the excitation energy is less. So iodine will absorb the low energy yellow light, and hence it will transmit the complementary color of yellow, which is violet, and hence it will transmit the violet light. And see, the color of iodine is violet. Okay, this is all about color. Now the last point, which is the oxidation states. Fluorine is different from the others because fluorine do not have the energetically accessible vacant d orbitals. Fluorine only has 2s and 2p orbitals. So in fluorine there is only one half-filled orbital. One half-filled orbital. So the oxidation state of fluorine is +1. Or you can say, it also depends actually, or you can say the oxidation state of fluorine is 1. But in case of chlorine, there is energetically accessible vacant d orbital, so it can go to the first excited state. Its first excited state means it will transfer one electron to the higher energy d orbital, having a +3 oxidation state. Because, or you can say having oxidation state of 3, because there are 3 half-filled orbitals. Now in the second excited state, it can transmit another electron, or I'm just showing here. In the second excited state, it can transfer another electron to the high energy d orbital. So there are, in this case, there are 5 half-filled orbitals. So oxidation state can be 5, +5. Oxidation state here is +5. Now in the third excited state, another electron can be transmitted to the higher energy d orbital, and see, total of 7 bonds can be possible, because there are 7 half-filled subshells. So the oxidation state can be +7. So fluorine only has +1 oxidation state, whereas the others, chlorine, bromine, iodine, they will have +3, +5 and +7 oxidation states. They can also form +4 and +6 oxidation states for oxides, as well as oxy acids will be only formed for bromine and chlorine. Also they can show oxidation state of +1 and -1 when they react with other elements, depending on the electropositivity and electronegativity of the elements. If the other element is more electropositive than bromine, than the halogen, then the halogen will be showing a oxidation state of -1. But if that other element is more electronegative than the halogen, then the halogen will show an oxidation state of +1. So these are more or less about the properties of the halogens. In the next class I will start with the other preparation and properties of the chlorine, bromine, iodine, fluorine. Okay, thank you.